I am here today with Khaya Fraites, the voice of the newest hero in Overwatch, Sierra. Khaya, thank you so much for sitting in today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I got to tell you, first of all, I'm gonna nerd out on voice acting for a second, and I'm gonna pick your brain a little bit.
Okay.
Because, of course, after they announced you were the actor behind Sierra, who, by the way, great backstory. I love the animated shorts already. I'm like, is she gonna find her mom? What's going on with that? Is her mom gonna come out in 2029? What's happening? So it's been really cool to see. But of course, I went to your website and viewed you have an acting reel or a voiceover reel there.
Mm-hmm.
And just a couple days ago, my wife and I were watching television, and it was an animated show, and there was a little boy in it, and it was obviously voiced by a woman. And I know a lot of times that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife turned to me and said, "Why can't they get someone who sounds like a little boy?" And I was like, "I know it's obvious that So I'm watching your reel, and a little boy pops up on the screen and keeps talking, and I'm like, wow, she's really letting this kid talk for a while before they get to her part. And then I realized, oh, snap. She did it. So that being said, what is the secret to voicing a little boy without sounding like you're quote unquote putting on a voice? Because it didn't sound like that at all. Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, I don't know. I've never really thought about it that much. I think I just love studying how people talk and doing impressions. And
yeah,
that's kind of helped me break down how to make different voices just by learning to be a mimic. And I think that kids kind of pronounce things kind of funny and kind of they kind of run words together "Hi everybody," you know what I mean? It's just kind of fits into this little juvenile cadence, I guess, of just figuring out what words sound like together as you're saying it, because they are kind of discovering language for the first time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that project was also interesting because it was a dub of a Korean show, so I also had to fit it in the time slot.
That's different.
Yeah. Yeah, but I've done quite a few different ages I did a 12-year-old for another TV show, also a boy, and I think just literally doing impressions was how I started. During the pandemic, I was watching a ton of anime. I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender for the first time. I watched Naruto. I watched Steven Universe. I watched She-Ra. I watched all these shows with all these different characters in different ages, and just learned how to mimic all of their voices and just figure out what I could do to make them my own characters.
Right. So you're based out in New York City, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine just being an actor in New York and just being anyone in New York, you have a plethora of voices that you hear. Do you find yourself kind of mumbling, you hear a voice and you start to mimic it? I got to remember that one.
Definitely. There's always people chatting on the subway that are good inspiration for, keeping voices in my back pocket.
And are you from New York originally?
No, I'm from Virginia, just like Sierra.
Very good. And how long have you been in New York?
I moved to New York officially in January 2020. So,
wow.
Yeah, not the best timing in the world.
Oh,
but
my goodness. Right.
I wouldn't be voice acting probably otherwise, because I kind of got into it during the pandemic. So,
were you voice acting before you moved to New York?
No, I went to school for theater in Virginia and then graduated in spring 2019. And then I came right to New York after, and I worked a summer job in Manhattan that provided me housing. So I was like, oh my gosh, I live in New York.
Right.
And then I ended up going back to DC for the fall to do a play, and then officially moved to New York January 2020. And I had booked a fiction podcast. And I had I think I literally had 3 or 4 lines in this fiction comedy podcast. I think I was a waiter or something. And that was my first ever voice acting gig. And so then I just kind of did a couple things with them, and then COVID happened, and I was like, crap, like, what can I do? And I was like, maybe if I get a microphone, I can keep working with this podcast and start submitting to like other stuff online. And that's exactly what I did. And my dad shipped me a microphone from Virginia because New York was like shut down.
Right.
And then, yeah, I just started submitting to stuff and recording in my closet with my comforter over my head.
Like everyone does.
Yep.
Yep. And when you were a little kid, do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have one sister. She's also an actor.
Really?
Yeah.
Is she older or younger?
Younger, 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she follow you to New York?
She did. She followed me
Really?
to college, and then she followed me to New York. She's also a dancer, so she dances in the city, and she does like theater.
So she's not totally a copycat.
No. Typical little sister. But I actually have been trying to get her into voice acting because I feel like she would be great at it.
That's so cool. So when you were little, did you do a lot of like community theater and school plays and stuff like that?
Yeah, I definitely did like all the musicals in my high school and a couple of community shows, like summer camp type things. But yeah, like in terms of voice acting, like it's just all been kind of just learning as I go.
Right. So was the goal when you were younger and even when you moved to New York to do more theater and on-screen acting?
Yeah, definitely. Theater and film
Yeah.
have always been like my true loves. I just like was always interested in voice acting, but I didn't know, like literally didn't know anything about it.
Right.
And now I've just kind of like found this like pocket of like, wow, this is so cool. And because I get to do this full time freelancing, it like gives me the flexibility and the freedom to still do theater and film stuff, which is awesome.
That's super cool. So
Yeah.
you still get a chance to just sit in the Ripley Greer building and just listen to other people audition.
Thankfully, I haven't been there too often, but
Good.
yeah, I did get to do a play last spring, and that was like my first one since before the pandemic. So that was like kind of
Oh,
cool
wow.
to like get back into that. And then I've just been like, in terms of like film, just like whatever little projects I can get on,
Yeah.
or like I've also like made a couple of short films myself just to try and, build up my reels and do the festivals and, meet people that way.
Yeah. So when you were younger, were your parents were they chill with you going into the arts, or did they have like, we really thought she was going to be a lawyer, or how did that go?
I think my parents have pretty much always been supportive. My family, like, they just wanted me to get a college degree. And I was like the first, kid to get a degree in my family. So it was just kind of like, you just have to go to college. We do not care what you study. Just go. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do theater. And I think like at first, they were kind of like, I mean, if you want to do theater, like that's fine. At least you'll have a college degree and you can get a corporate job if you need to. But
Right.
like just have like a backup plan. Like you could always just teach theater or, become an English teacher or something, because I minored in English. I love writing as well. But I was just always like, no, I'm not going to have a backup plan. I'm just going to do it and we're just going to see.
I kind of love that though. I kind of like the whole going all in.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's easier to fall back onto the backup plan if you have one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I think it's like, if you don't have a backup plan, then you have no choice but to just give it your all.
Yeah. You got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So how was it then being back on the stage again after a couple of years? Was it amazing?
Oh my gosh, it was so amazing.
Yeah.
It was this new work play from this like incredible new playwright, Andrew Reed. He was doing his Columbia Master's program, and it was like a play about like if a civil war were to take place, like in the 100-Acre Woods from Winnie the Pooh. So it was a very whimsical and very dark, and it was like all the characters but they're humans. Like I was Eeyore and like a bunch of other characters, so it was kind of like very like clownish, kind of like vaudevillian characters, and it was so fun to do.
Yeah. Did it take you a while to go from acting on a stage to acting behind a mic? Did you have to alter a lot of how you even spoke?
I guess alter how I spoke in terms of just like doing different characters, sure. But I think that there's so much overlap between theater and voice acting. Because I feel like I'm kind of doing all of the same things I would in a stage play. It's just you can't see me. But I'm in here like moving around and like doing all of the things and the faces and stuff. And I think in the reverse way, like going back to theater after doing voiceover for the last several years, it was like such a fun thing to play with because I was playing like 4 different characters and they're all different like ages and stuff. And that was kind of cool to like give them each different voices. And then now we get to see the mannerisms that go with each voice, you know, in person.
Yeah. Was the podcast your first voiceover gig?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was called Meet Cute. They do like short rom-com series. I still work with them sometimes. They're a fun podcast. But yeah, that was my like very first ever voice acting role. I had taken one voice and speech class in college that we had to like make a little reel as our final exam. And so I had like 2-minute clip of just me talking from different radio play clips and stuff that we had done in class. And that got me the audition. And then I got to read like the copy from it for the like callback. And then, yeah, that was my first voice acting gig.
And then how do you go from that to your first animated gig? Did you have representation or did you just keep sending stuff out?
Yeah, I kept sending stuff out and I booked a couple of like indie animation projects with just like some students in the city. That is like one of the perks about being in New York is that there's just always work.
Right.
Especially if you just need to build up your reels and you just need to show like what you can do. There's always stuff for that.
Yeah.
And so I started just kind of like doing that kind of stuff. And then in 2021, I think a director I worked with had sent my information to Atlas Talent Agency. And they set up a meeting with me and they invited me to come and like freelance with them just under their commercials department. And I was like, I really want to do animation. And they're like, we'll see how you do at commercials first. And I was like, okay, fair. That's fair. And then I booked a Taco Bell commercial and I got my union card from a Taco Bell commercial.
That's I feel like that's such a different beast doing commercial work and animation. Because
yeah, it's way, way different.
Was that an easy pivot for you to do?
Well, I think because I think it was harder at first because I felt like, oh my gosh, like I'm not going to book a commercial. Like I feel like my voice sounds too young to do commercial. Like, you know, the commercials you see on TV, they're, act now. Like I was like, I don't sound like that, you know, or,
yeah.
And I was trying to like put on this like more mature voice to try and, you know, get through my auditions. But I think the second I like dropped that whole notion was when I booked the Taco Bell commercial, literally just sounding like myself. And then from there, I started doing like a bunch of commercials and then they kind of like trusted me to start going out for animation. And then the first, I think, thing I did with them was I booked like the Rainbow High series, which is like a Mattel doll TV show series on YouTube, and just started slowly getting small things here and there. And then my first like Blizzard booking was in 2023. I got cast as Orweyna in World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And were you a gamer at all?
I wasn't. No, I'm an Animal Crosser.
Okay, yeah,
That's about as much as I do.
So I would assume you had heard of World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have a lot of friends who are gamers, and I was so excited to do it. And then we were on a strike. There was like a video game strike, so I had recorded it all, but then I like couldn't even like talk about it when it came out because it was like we were on strike, and we're like, okay. So then like I think like 6 months later, I was allowed to like finally say like, this is what I've been working on for the last 9 months.
Is it weird to you? One thing I've always found weird about the gaming industry is how secretive they are about everything. And sometimes even after it's come out, you still can't say you were part of something. And was that kind of like, did that throw you off as well?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, it's always just exciting when like it does get to come out, but there are so many things that I have like done that like I don't know when they come out, or I never find out. anything until like a year or something later. And it's like, oh yeah, I remember this project I did, and oh, I just found a clip on YouTube. Like that's so crazy. Like, so it's kind of interesting, like looking back and being like, oh, I actually did more than I thought.
Yeah.
You kind of have to dig and find them sometimes.
That's kind of cool though. And do you have people send them to you saying, is this you doing this
That
thing?
happens a lot for commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of commercials. The one I get the most is I do all of the commercials for Grand Canyon University on YouTube. So I get like messages about that a lot. Like, were you just on this? I'm like, yeah, that was me.
Oh, that's so cool. For the most part, are you in person in their studio, or do you do most of your stuff from home? Is it an even split?
I would say it's probably an even split. It used to be more from home in like 2021, 2022, just because of like the pandemic. But I think things are starting to turn back into studio now. Like everything for Blizzard, of course, has been in studio. But
Really, in Irvine? Or
no,
in
I'm
New York?
in New York. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we've been at Hyperbolic Studios, which is really fun. And then I also do a good amount of audiobooks. So I would say that's pretty split, doing at home and in studio. Yeah.
How do you like doing those?
I like it. It's fun. It's definitely like, it forces me to be patient because I'm not always the most patient person. And I'm like, I just want to get this done today. And it's like, no, this is going to be a 3-day process.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So when Blizzard called you for World of Warcraft, were you nervous? Did you have to submit a separate audition, or did they hear your reel and think, yeah, you're hired? Like, what was that process, if you can say?
Yeah, I had an audition and I had never played the game. So I talked to my friend who'd played and was like, okay, like, you know, tell me what like the world is like. And I'd watch YouTube clips and stuff, but I think it's different when you're like talking to someone who's like been in it and like knows how to play and stuff. And so he gave me some tips, and then I submitted my original audition, and then I think a couple weeks later they asked for like a callback, and they like wanted me to like change some things about like her voice, make it a little bit lower, and to try like different accents and stuff. And then after that round, they were like, okay, like you booked it, and I got to go in studio. I was like,
That is
this
so
is
cool.
crazy.
Are you still doing, like, do they still call you in and say, we'd like you to do more lines for that character? Is that kind of like an ever changing? That's
Yeah,
so cool.
I think I went in last week, or maybe the week before. Yeah. But pretty every now and then I still get to go in for her, which is nice.
So how much time was there between that and Sierra?
So I think it's 2026. I think I started working on that one in 2023. And
Are
then
you serious?
for World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
Not for Sierra.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, Sierra came up pretty fast, but between World of Warcraft, I did like a short little stint in Diablo 4, and
Really?
then yeah, my character did not survive very long, but I think I had 2 sessions. I had a friend who like played and was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited! I found your character," and then 2 days later, "You died?" I was like, "Yeah."
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then I think that was in 2024, and then last year I got the audition for Sierra. I want to say in end of November, early December. And then I had a call back in person at a studio in New York in December. They like showed me like what like the in-game art was going to look like. And so I was like, wow, like she's so cool. And they like gave me some notes, and I did the callback. And then I found out in like early January that I booked it, and I started recording like that next week, I think.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I think I started recording on probably like January like 4th or something.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, and then we just were going in like once or twice a week, like every single week, until she was just released in April.
That's it.
Very quick turnaround.
That's a really quick turnaround, and it also it's really cool, you know, playing her quite a bit. And there's so much in-game chatter between the different heroes while you're waiting and you're getting ready to go in, and of course the animated shorts that they've done. And I feel like you and she are not super far apart. It's like you
Yeah.
also seem to be pretty bubbly. You're pretty friendly. You know, that seems, it seems pretty close to you.
Yeah, I think so. She's definitely a bit more southern. I
Mm-hmm.
I told my mom, like, after I finished, I was like, yes, I did this video game character and she's basically you. And I just
I was gonna ask if you. Oh, that's so funny.
yeah, I just kind of stole from my mom a little. My mom's like from Withville. She's from the like Blue Ridge Mountain area in Virginia. And then I grew up in Richmond, Virginia. But her and my grandmother and my aunts, they're all very, very Southern belles. And
You know, that's great. I can hear it in my head because one of my favorite voice lines is just kind of that a little touch of sass of that. You ever touch grass? And you get that
Yeah.
little bit of a Southern. Yeah, it's so well done. It's so smooth.
Thank you.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
And so I kind of like stole a little bit from them to find like Sierra's voice, I think.
And of course, like I mentioned earlier, the animated shorts and just kind of learning the backstory. One thing that Blizzard does so good is storytelling and world building.
Yeah.
Did you know much about the Overwatch world going into it?
I didn't know too much, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like so much lore I've been trying to learn, but I love how expansive the world is and so how diverse all the characters are, and they're all so like their character designs are so unique and so cool. And, like,
Yeah.
you can really tell like how much care is put into each of these characters. And even just like with the trailers and stuff, like their team is so talented and so fast. Like when I recorded that first teaser trailer with her fighting Emery,
Yeah.
that was like it was like stick figures when I recorded it.
Wow.
So I was like trying to figure out like what is what. And I was like, okay. And like doing all of the lines and everything. It literally was just like sketches. And now to like see it just a couple months later and it's like this whole thing is so, so cool.
Is your work now primarily voice acting, or do you have stage or screen gigs coming up?
I'm mostly doing voice acting, yes. I do have like a short film that I made called Narrated By, that's a comedy about audiobook narrators.
Oh, nice.
And so that's been doing like a little festival run. We got to premiere at Chicago International in the fall, and
What the
it
heck?
just screened at
Congratulations.
Milwaukee. Thank you. We screened at Milwaukee Film Fest last month, so hoping to do a couple more festivals for that. And then I'm also
Yeah.
like making another short film right now. And then I also just like released my own novel. It's like a short novella that I also narrated. So I'm always kind of just like tinkering and working on
What
things.
in the world? Wow, that is you're doing everything, Khaya. What the heck?
I like to keep myself busy.
And so, what do your parents think? What's your family think when they see these final? Whether it's whether a commercial or a television show or a game clip. What do they think?
I think they think it's really cool. I think I know if my dad thinks it's cool, if he asks, can I post this on Facebook? Then I'm like, I've made it. I've made it to the Facebook feed. I've made it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they're all very excited. And yeah, it's been really cool.
And we were talking a little bit before we started recording. One thing that I've always liked about the Overwatch voice actor world is how inclusive they are when a new hero is cast. And you were saying that you're getting ready to do a couple chats, and you've already heard from some people. And
yeah, I met up with Lucy Pohl. She invited me out for coffee and was so sweet. I'm chatting with Carolina very, very soon. We have a date on the books.
yeah,
And then just
have you watched any of her conversations with?
Yeah, it's so cool.
Are you practicing her lines already?
I
'Cause
need
you know
to.
she's going to make you say them.
I need to, yes.
So when you sat down with Lucy, did she give you any kind of like, okay, people are going to message you because they're angry at how your character plays? Like, did she give you any like tips or anything, preparation or anything?
Not about that, but that has been true.
I hate that so much.
Yeah. But she was just like, telling me like what the process has been like for her, because she's one of the original heroes, and so cool to hear from like a veteran of this world, like what like live events are like and cons, and how like all of the voice actors like stay pretty much in touch and have become this like big family, and it's just like so cool.
Yeah.
And everyone I've chatted with has been so welcoming so far. So I'm just lucky to be here.
And your sister's there in the city as well. Do you guys get to see each other very often?
Oh yeah, we see each other all the time, and she finally got a AMC A-list pass. This is not sponsored or anything by AMC, but I love a movie pass, so we've been going to see movies like every single week.
Really?
Yeah.
What do I need to go see?
Devil Wears Prada 2, definitely.
Really?
So good. I really liked it.
You know, when I was living in New York, I did some extra work, and I was in Devil Wears Prada 1.
No way.
Way.
Oh my gosh. You have to send me a screenshot if you can.
It's one of those blink and that's about all it is a screenshot. It's like, there's my face. And then that's it. But
That's amazing. I literally just rewatched it, so we probably saw you.
oh, that's so funny. Yeah. What kind of town did you grow up in? And were you close to DC, or is New York way different from what you're used to?
Way different. I grew up in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
So it's about like 2 hours from DC, and I went to college at George Mason University, which is like really close to DC in Fairfax, Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I always knew I wanted to move to New York since like middle school.
Did you visit before you moved there?
Yeah, I visited a few times, but I just always knew because I was just obsessed with musical theater that I was gonna be in New York. Yeah.
So if you had your choice of they're bringing back this musical, they're going to revive it. Khaya, you have your choice of the musical and the part. What are you going for?
Ooh, that's a good question. Maybe. That's such a hard question. I don't know. Maybe Dreamgirls.
Yeah?
Yeah, or anything by Stephen Sondheim, I'm obsessed with, unfortunately. I love all of it. Company, Merrily We Roll Along is like my favorite.
Oh, wow, that's classic. Yeah.
I love that one. That's probably the one.
Is that right? Yeah.
I love it so much. I did it in college, but I love it.
Was there a lot of music in your house growing up?
Oh, yeah. My mom is like an incredible singer, and she sings all the time around the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my dad, like, it's just interesting, like, the albums that, like, stick with you, I think. My parents had, like, in my mom's car, it was, like, Mary J. Blige, Usher, and Black Eyed Peas. And in my dad's car, it was, like, soca, Caribbean music, Avril Lavigne, and Tim McGraw were, like, his staples.
What?
Oh, yeah.
What did they do for work when you were younger?
Both of my parents, my dad like works in real estate, and my mom, she works in sales, but both of them are very, very artistic. My dad loves like film, and like my dad's favorite movies are Grease and Guys and Dolls, and my mom's favorite movie.
Oh, so you didn't have
like
a
Sound
chance.
of Music. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and you're wondering why both of your daughters are actors. You did this to yourself. And I just remember also like the 1997 Rodgers and Hammerstein TV movie of Cinderella with Whitney Houston
and Brandy.
And Brandy. That was like on repeat all the time. That's actually one I would love to do.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. So did their musical tastes, besides the musical theater, like, do you have Tim McGraw in your playlist? Do you have did that all stick?
Not so much the Tim McGraw. I mean, every now and then, I guess, if I want to be like, this is my dad's favorite. But yeah, definitely Usher, definitely Mary J.
And have you seen a lot of live shows there in the city?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I just saw Corbin Bleu in The Great Gatsby as Nick Carraway, and he was fantastic.
How was it? Yeah.
It was great, and Ava Noblezada was a really incredible Daisy.
Are you like me, where when I watch an award show, whether it's the Oscars, the Emmys, the Tonys, credits roll, and I'm like, I want to do. Do you get the same way
Yeah.
when you watch shows like that? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I get very, very competitive about Oscar season. And
Really?
yes, I'm like the person in my friend group that hosts an annual party. I set up a whole little step and repeat with props in the kitchen, and we take Polaroid pictures, and I have like, we do like just like Trader Joe's like snacks all night long, just like heating
Yeah.
things up, and so we can all, and I print out ballots for everyone, the little Vanity Fair ballots, so we can all
That's
check
what
off.
I would do.
Yes, I literally do it every year. I think I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years now, and I have a whole scrapbook of all the Polaroids that we've like
That's
taken.
amazing.
I get so serious about it. I started giving out prizes for like the people who win first place of like getting the most categories
Right?
correct and stuff.
Yep.
But this year in particular, I like hung up like all of these like red curtains across my whole living room, around the TV and everything.
Wow.
Because I was like, we're gonna have to do it upright because I'm ready for a sinner sweep. And I was still sad that they didn't get this picture, but I was
Right.
so emotional watching like Michael B. Jordan win, and
Yes.
Ryan Coogler winning for best screenplay. And I
Mhm.
also like, I think it's just really inspiring that they like, you know, have been like working on projects together since college, and I still
Yeah.
work on short films with my college friends, and they were all like on the couch. So I was just like sobbing, just being like, look what happens when you make art with your friends.
Yeah. I love that whole feeling of when I was in New York, I had my little troupe of, I did mostly improv there, and we had our little troupe there. And it's as cheesy as it sounds to kind of like, you know, it was like our own version of the Friends show, but it really
Yes.
does make it different when you're going through it
Yeah.
with friends. It really
Yeah.
does.
It feels so special.
Who was the first call mom and dad? I saw so and so on the street, or I saw so and so on the subway. Was there a
Oh, that's a good question. I think it was Chris Rock.
really? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like on like West 72nd, like 2 blocks from Central Park, and I was walking, and I just heard someone answer a phone call like, "Hello." And I turned around, and I was like,
Yeah.
and then there was 2 women behind me, and they turned around, and they were like, "That was Chris Rock." And I was like, "That was Chris Rock."
That's hilarious. I just can't wait until, you know, especially because you do so much voice work, where it's going to be, was that Khaya Fraites? Was that Khaya Fraites over there?
I did get recognized one time at my dentist office, which was so wild.
Really?
Yeah, because she was an audiobook fan. And so when I went to check out, she like saw my name. She's like, "Khaya Fraites?" She was like, "Can I take a picture with you? My book club's gonna freak out." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." Sure.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, when you do an audiobook, do you have to do any of the editing, or do you get to just record and just ship it out and they'll take care of everything from there?
Most of the time, it's just sending it.
Nice.
Sometimes I do like a punch and roll where you just edit out your mistakes. So like if
Okay,
I make
right.
a mistake, I'll pause and then go back and then just like keep going recording. But yeah, I much prefer doing it the easy
Oh,
way
yeah.
and like, or just going in studio.
Right. Do you find yourself on a never-ending quest upgrading your microphone or your booth or anything as far as like your home studio situation?
I don't know if I would say never ending quest because I'm just not a very tech savvy person. And I feel like I don't upgrade anything until you absolutely have to.
Yeah.
I just can't be bothered. I'm just like, I just want to act. I don't want to deal with this. I'm so bad at it. And so I did recently upgrade my mic in December, and it was the first one since like, I think since 2021.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I started at first with like a USB, like a Blue Yeti.
Yep.
Yeah, a $99 mic is probably like worth $40 now on Amazon.
Yeah.
And then when I got my agent, I upgraded to a Rode NT1 microphone.
Hmm.
And I think that worked for so long. I mean, it still worked. I ended up like giving it to a friend for them to start their journey because I think it's still a pretty solid mic.
Yeah.
And then I just recently, like in December, upgraded to a Warm Audio 87. But
Yeah.
I'm also just like an advocate for buying things secondhand because it's so expensive to to do this job. So eBay is
Yeah.
your friend.
That's great to hear, because I think a lot of people would think they got to go out, they got to buy the
Brand
newest,
new,
the best.
yeah. The 3-year warranty. I'm like, whatever. I'm not doing that. Extra $100. I don't think so.
Right. And so, where are you recording from now? Are you in a bedroom? Are you in a closet? Where are you now? It sounds great.
Yeah, I'm in a like a converted pantry.
Okay, right.
I live in a railroad apartment, and so for the listeners don't know what a railroad apartment is in New York, it's basically like a train car where the rooms go through each other, and
Yep.
I don't have a single closet in my entire apartment, but I have this one little pantry alcove that
That's
I
funny.
padded the walls with foam and put my little IKEA desk in here, and this
That's
is what
amazing.
it is.
So, is your apartment so New York that is the shower in the kitchen?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. There is a door and a wall separating it. Now, I'm assuming like this building has been up since 1931, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they like chopped the apartments in half. So like my unit, I think, was connected to the one next door because some of the door frames are like they
Okay.
overlap each other, and you're like, this doesn't. This used to be a pocket door, and this is like ripped off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think that like there didn't used to be a wall between the kitchen and the shower, but there is a wall. But yeah, my bathroom does open up like right into my kitchen sink.
Have your parents been up to see you? And if so, what do you like to show them, or where do you take them?
Yeah, for sure. They've been up a few times. There's so much to do. My favorite thing to do in New York is the New York Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
Every November. It's like my Christmas. So my best friend who lives in Virginia, she usually comes up every year and stays for a week, and we just go to as many shows as we can in 1 week. Like
Yeah.
sometimes we'll go in like 2, 3 in one night, just going back and forth to different venues. And so last year, my mom came up because she's like been hearing me talk about it for years of like, you always talk about how good the festival is. I want to come up and see. So she came
Yeah.
and we went to like 6 shows or something like that. And then like my mom, every time she comes, she just has a different list of like what she wants to do.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to just go on the ferry so I can be on a little boat and get to Dumbo and take my pictures under the bridge. But there's also just so many good little pockets of like incredible food. And I'm in Brooklyn, so there's just like
Oh,
endless
wow.
food,
Right.
endless indie bookstores, which are my favorite things to explore.
Yeah.
So
That's the best thing about those bookstores is just that as soon as you walk in, that smell
yeah.
of, okay, yeah, here we are.
Yeah,
Here
yeah.
we are. Is there anything that you can talk about that you have coming up that we should know about or listen for you in?
Ooh. I guess I just always have books coming out,
Yeah?
narration, so I don't know. I guess you can check out my Instagram for updates.
What's your Instagram name?
At Khaya Fraites.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
fancy.
At Khaya Fraites on everything. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of it.
Is there something that you've done that your 16-year-old self would not believe you've done?
I got to do one episode of Pokemon.
Really?
Yeah, Pokemon Paldean Winds, which is one of their YouTube series, miniseries. And that was pretty cool. So I think I would probably be like, no way.
How did that come about?
There's a studio in New York called 3 Beep, and they were recording the dub for it. And that was like, sometimes direct marketing is like very important. Like I had just
Wow.
reached out to them and was like, hi, my name's Khaya. Like, I'm an actor signed with this agency, and like I can record from home or in the city, and like this is my reel, and da-da-da. And they're like, okay, cool, we'll keep you on file if we have any auditions. And I was like, great.
Yeah.
And then like a few months later, the Pokemon audition had come up.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the first thing I did was like I booked a pilot with them for an animated series, and it
Yeah.
didn't end up going anywhere. So we just recorded the pilot, and it got like shut down. We're like, oh, okay, whatever.
Right.
And then when the Pokemon thing came up, they were like, we want you to audition for this, and I got to do it, and I was like, no way, it's so cool.
So when you approached them, was that a call? Was that an email?
Just an email. Yeah.
Okay. And is that quote unquote work to you? Does that come pretty natural? Like it's a pretty easy thing to do, or is that not really who you are?
I mean, I think you kind of just have to put yourself out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, and sometimes like they just don't respond and that's okay. But sometimes they do respond and maybe they'll send you an audition.
I think one of the things that people not get wrong, but maybe just don't know about acting in the theater world is a lot of people see it almost like as an old school Simon Cowell mean American Idol audition where you go in, audition, and then they rip you apart. And I always said, no, it's great because you go in, you audition, and if you don't get it, you just don't hear from them.
You just don't ever hear anything. Yeah.
Is there someone there, a friend or a roommate that you read with or opposite of to rehearse?
If I have like an on-camera thing, yes, but for voice acting auditions, no. It's usually like 24-hour turnaround. So
Wow.
kind of just have to like prep as much as you can and just submit it and let it go.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of like the best thing about it is because there's so many auditions, like the volume of auditions have increased. So I'm maybe auditioning like 3, 4, 5 times a day. And so you don't have time to stress about it or like, be too precious with it because you just have to like get it done,
And when you get an audition, how long does it usually take before you're sending your audition in, like the turnaround? How do you sit with the audition piece, and how long does it take you to process it and approach it?
Again, I think just because there's usually like, this is due tomorrow morning. Like there's not a ton of that time. There are obviously like things that I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have to get this. I want this so badly. And like I try and like rehearse it and prep it and like do as much as I can in like whatever little amount of time that I had. Like I had an audition last week. I was like so thrilled to get, but I also didn't see the audition on I like got the email, but I hadn't like read it. And so I really only had an hour before it was like due, before I was like, I have to turn this in right now. And I was just like, this is probably the thing I care about the most ever. Like I was just like, and you have to turn it in 1 hour, and sometimes you have to just like, I think the thing is that the job is the audition. And so you just have to trust that you know how to do the job, which is audition, and just you have to just let it go, and if it comes back, it comes back and it's amazing. But like you are doing the job by just submitting it,
Where did you learn that? Did you learn that in college? Did you just do it? Where did that come from?
I think it just, I learned it from being such a type A person that I just have to like let things go sometimes because I'm crazy. I like have a spreadsheet of all the auditions I do every year and I like run the numbers and be like, okay, what's the percentage of what's my booking rate? Kind of like, and it's like, when you're doing 400 auditions in a year roughly, and then like your booking rate is like, my booking rate is like 15%. That seems like nothing. That's like what, like 30 gigs, around 30 gigs, but that's 30 gigs, like, and then from those 30 gigs, you get referrals and you get people coming back and then you get more gigs from those 30 that you booked from auditions. And then that's how you just stay consistent, is just keep submitting.
I mean, I think that's great just because I could see how a lot of people could get discouraged after submitting so many times. And I love that you have that drive of, but you know what, that 30%, this might be in that 30%, and so are you pretty self-motivated with that?
I think so. Yeah. I think that I've always just been a person that's like very organized and kind of type A and like to take care of things and takes initiative. And I have chosen a job where that is not something that is always possible to have. But the thing I can control is the amount of effort that I put into things.
Yeah. I'll kind of wrap up here just by saying that you've got such a cool spirit about you, Khaya, and everything ends with a smile and a laugh. Where does that come from? Where do you get that from? Is that from your parents? Is that from how you grew up? Where's that come from?
I don't know. I just think that like I can be a little hard on myself sometimes and get like a little too bogged down of like, am I doing enough? Am I like, doing what I want? Am I like, am I doing it? But also sometimes like you just have to not take yourself so seriously. Like at the end of the day, my job is to play pretend for a living. And like you can't be too serious when that's what I get to wake up and do every day, is just like explore like being all of these different interesting people and like getting to know myself more and getting to know these other people, characters more. Like, that's literally the biggest gift in the world. So I feel like you can't take yourself too seriously when at the end of the day, you still get to wake up and do that. Even if like, there are definitely things that like, oh, I wish I could have done this, or I wish I could have booked that, or da-da-da, whatever. But we're still doing it,
Yeah, I love that.
So at the end of the day, I have no complaints. Of course, I always want to get better and, become a better actor and like do cooler projects and stuff. But like at the end of the day, I'm just like screaming into my closet for a living. So
it's amazing. I love that. I should probably ask you, have you played Sierra in Overwatch yet?
I have not.
I think you're probably in with most of the cast of the game. I think those who play are very, very rare. But
I've watched people play, and I'm like, wow, that's so cool. That looks very overwhelming. But I love that for you.
It's a lot. Yeah. Can you watch yourself in something, or does it take you out of it as soon as you hear your voice and you're just thinking about the day of the recording or what you could have done differently? Or can you actually appreciate the final thing? Is that tough?
I think it depends.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, I can separate myself because it's like, well, it's already out. There's nothing, like, it's not like you can change it now. But there are definitely things that I'm like, okay, maybe that line, the accent was a little off, or like maybe this, I feel like I would have done that differently now, looking back at this like project I did 2 years ago or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It is interesting. Sometimes I just think it's weird and I'm like, whoa, that's wild that I recorded 600 things for this person to say.
Right. Khaya, thank you so much for hanging out and sharing a little bit about just who you are and where you come from and what's going on. Congratulations on, gosh, everything that you're doing. You're doing so much. It's so cool. And Khaya Fraites on everything. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.